Is Star Wars a dead franchise? I couldn't tell you for sure, but one thing I know is that Disney's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge theme park lands are not the big hit that Disney wanted them to be. Can they be fixed? Let's talk about that on That Park Place. I'm Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, where we talk about streaming, theme parks, video games, and entertainment. Today, we're talking about Galaxy's Edge, the less than popular theme park land at Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disneyland Park out in California. Why do we say it's unpopular? For multiple reasons, one of which being that Disney has abandoned the idea of putting it in any of their other theme parks, like Disneyland Paris. Even Tokyo Disneyland, which is not controlled by the Disney company, they're doing massive changes and they're adding expansions like Fantasy Springs, and they decided that they can pass on Star Wars. However, there was a time around 2005 during a CEO change that Disney acknowledged that they had messed up with a theme park expansion and did a big refit, not just to an entire land, but an entire theme park, that being Disney's California Adventure. Could Star Wars Galaxy's Edge use the same treatment? Let's get into it.
Down here, let's look this, and I love this graphic because it shows everyone the stupidity of the decisions made for these parks. Originally, Galaxy's Edge, where it is today, is over where Streets of America once was. This parking lot down here to the bottom right, see this parking lot? It's cast parking. That was where the original Galaxy's Edge was supposed to go. But they cheaped out because that wouldn't allow them to clone it perfectly from Disneyland, and they wanted to clone it exactly. So they put a parking lot here instead. But originally, Galaxy's Edge was supposed to connect with the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, and then you'd have kept the Streets of America and done some additions
What's the Galactic Star Cruiser?
Oh, exactly.
Exactly. Is this something that's coming?
And then, folks, you can still see the outline. Look at this. You see this area, this parking right here that just kind of looks weird? The reason it looks weird is because originally that was supposed to be a parking garage. That was going to be cast parking. It was going to be a parking garage that was going to have theming on one side, so it looked like mountains and Galaxy's Edge, and the other side would look like a parking garage to the rest of the parking lot, and then that would have hidden all of this. And instead, what they did is they took the path of least resistance, the cheapest, most terrible way they could, and they connected Toy Story Land with Galaxy's Edge. They paved over all the capacity they had, so they gained no capacity. Now we have a parking lot, and they have a hotel that's now closed because nobody wants to go there, which, by the way, to get from there to Galaxy's Edge in the first place, you had to take a U-Haul trailer. They put you in the back of a moving van to get you over there. They don't have anything. Look, the park, they filled it out because they encapsulated themselves. They can't do anything. That's why you hear them talking about reopening The Little Mermaid. And by the way, it won't be the Halle Bailey version, but they're reopening the Little Mermaid because they're desperate and they have no real estate. And it's not because they have no real estate. It's because they chose to lock themselves in. And then we're all sitting here looking at these stupid wait times going, oh, so you're crowded? Wait, no, it's not because you're crowded. Right. It's because you have no attractions.
Before you go off of this, Pro, let's just point out, what is the wait time for Disney's current premier attraction in Hollywood Studios? 120 minutes.
2 hours.
And now go up to the ancient attraction right there, Tower of Terror.
And Rock and Roller Coaster.
145 minutes, 140 minutes. I haven't been on Rise of Resistance yet, and I get it. There's some things in there that are good. There's some things in there that continuously malfunction. But Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror, those should not be outperforming the current largest, biggest, newest ride at any Walt Disney park.
Take a look, folks. Let me show you what's going on. This is how you know that I'm telling you the truth. Alien Swirling Saucers is at 1 hour and 10-minute wait.
Shoo!
Alien Swirling Saucers is basically a very downgraded version of Dumbo. Very downgraded. It's on the ground. You spin. It's essentially a carnival ride. It is a very low-budget ride. It's only at 1 hour and 10 minutes because there's nothing to do, and people are standing in line angry. And then you look and you say, well, now, wait a minute. There's a 10-minute wait for, oh, that's a museum. Oh, wait, there's a 10-minute wait for, oh, that's a theater. There's a 0-minute wait for, oh, that's a giant amphitheater. Anything that's a ride is maxed out on queue time because there's nothing to do in this park.
So we don't have any expectation that this is going to change within the next year.
This is unsolvable now, and they put themselves in this unsolvable problem of their own volition.
Well, they
culture.
boxed themselves in a way that really didn't flesh out the space, because the other plan was to basically connect Toy Story Land to a little Pixar area in the
Yes.
future, even if it wasn't going to happen. And
Pixar
then
place.
you had this massive fill out area for the Galaxy's Edge, which was a different concept at the time, that would have actually fed off of Tatooine Traders, which was where you had, of course, the original Star Wars attraction there, the Star Tours thing, and all of that was supposed to just lead right in. And we may potentially have lost the Muppets, but we also would have opened up a huge amount of space and a corridor for expansion. And as you pointed out, they boxed themselves in a way that they've made that problem nearly unsolvable. What they only thing they could do is to build out that Pixar thing in between Galaxy's Edge and the other, but they would be taking out a big services building and a power plant that they would have to relocate and a couple of other things. And it's just, they really hampered themselves for future development in a way that didn't make any sense, and still doesn't to this day. And the fact that they didn't build the original parking garages that were going to be built, one for guests and one, as you pointed out, was for cast.
Right.
You've now even further limited, because that buildable land is paved over and closed out in a way that it's going to be almost impossible to access. And the fact that they did it and removed just giant amounts of attractions and space for additional attractions makes no sense. There is so much concrete and structure there that is non-functional to guests. I'm beside myself.
Well, Galaxy's Edge is 14 acres, like you said, culture. It replaced stuff like Lights Motor Action. It replaced stuff like Streets of America, and you got 2 attractions from it. Only 2, 14 acres, and you only got 2 attractions.
Oh, and in a multi-$100 lightsaber purchasing experience.
Well,
that's
true. And overpriced mouth-numbing drinks. But the one corner that they really wasted was where they used to have the backlot tour, which was oh my gosh, I forget the name of it. Catastrophe Canyon, is that right?
Yes, Catastrophe Canyon is now where. Let me think about that. It's where the Falcon Ride, the back of the queue, is.
Smuggler's Run,
currently located. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Smuggler's Run.
Yeah, and it's like there's a whole corner of the back of the property that, had they built it out, would have made a lot more sense. But that's an entirely. We could probably do an hour on just that, and we've got wandered far away from where Jonas wanted to.
No, it's okay.
But it's important, because if you're asking, do we have hope? They have made such terrible decisions that I don't know how they solve them. Now that's it's like when it's like when you're on trial for something heinous, and you're asking me, like, how do I grow my wealth?
Right.
That's the wrong question to ask now, because you've put yourself in a position where I don't know how to help you get to that point any longer.
Yeah.
And Disney has put themselves in that spot.
Yeah. Just throwing this in here. Space Dave 2000 for $2 Canadian. Thank you, Space Dave. 100% agree with Pro. Hollywood Studios was favorite. Now a terrible park.
They used to have the Osborne Festival of Lights as part of Streets of America. That used to be part of their holiday program. Operators used to love that, because people would get hot chocolate and be around there. They wouldn't put so much emphasis on the attractions themselves. They would be kind of standing out there enjoying the lights and festivities. That's gone. Their fireworks launch point is gone. It's just operationally, it's just like, what have you done to this park?
I'm young enough to remember when they had the Macy's Day Parade down Streets of America,
right?
All around Thanksgiving. They would have the balloons and stuff, and they tried to make it look like you were in New York on Thanksgiving Day.
Yep. I'll also point out that the Osborne family lights, those would actually be good if your crowd is a bunch of adults who just want to wander around and drink at your park. Captain John D for $20. Going into 2024, I am so far ahead of the culture curve. It's ludicrous. Thanks to you guys. Thank you all for your valuable insight and hard work. You all get 2 showers. Have a safe, productive, and happy 2024. Kungaloosh.
Kungaloosh. There's a fellow adventurers club.
That's right.
That's great. That's great.
And thank you, Captain John D. I do want to say that whether it's that Park Place or it's Culture Casino's channel or my channel, folks, we're going to need your help going into January and February, because I anticipate strongly that there's going to be a pushback from some of these corporations that we should be curtailed, because they're not going to let us just tell the truth without some pushback. And I'm not alleging anybody in particular would do that, but we've seen very high-level individuals following some of us on social media. They probably didn't want to be seen following us, but I'm telling you, there's the response is on the way in the future. I just feel it.
I wouldn't disagree with you. Vash, go ahead. You first.
Well, no, I've got my Captain John D. My Captain John D. drop that goes along with that. They don't tell us, folks.
Perfect. In wrapping up this idea, Galaxy's Edge to me is a Disney's California Adventure style problem. It's not that it can't be salvaged. It's just you're going to need to have someone come in that doesn't have the ego of having constructed it. Somebody to come in and say, how do we fix this? And it does need to be fixed. They wanted a Potter swatter, as we like to jokingly refer to it here. They wanted lightsabers to be the same as wands. They wanted blue and green milk to be the same as butterbeer, and they wanted the land to be as packed and filled with Jedi robes the way that the wizarding worlds of Harry Potter at Universal Parks were filled with wizarding robes. And I got to say, you guys have failed. In so many ways. And when Kathleen Kennedy tried to turn Star Wars into a girls brand, to turn it into Harry Potter, yes, because Harry Potter does skew feminine. I'm sorry, guys. It just didn't work. And you need someone to come in and maybe celebrate the masculinity that is in Star Wars. You don't even have to make it about, muscles, because nobody in Star Wars is really about the muscles. Just the classic male themes that need to be in Star Wars.
Well, They missed out on more than that, though, because the fact that they bar masks and helmets, that's a significant portion of alien creation and character creation for a guest and for themselves in those parks. So and the fact that they moved away from blasters and things like that because it doesn't fit with their political agenda garbage, that also didn't help, Jonas. Anyway, sorry.
They bar you from wearing robes as well, so that's the ironic part about that.
Oh, that's funny.
But you can wear surgical masks and things like that. So come on,
right? But that's, they used to have Star Wars weekends. Why don't we have Star Wars weekends at the parks anymore? That used to be
there's no desire for them anymore. That's why, because they eradicated
Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think Galaxy's Edge should be gutted and refit, or could they just fix everything by updating it to the original trilogy's characters? Or maybe the prequels? Tell us your thoughts, because we would love to know. This clip was part of our now regular Thursday live stream, which starts at noon Eastern time. Of course, if you're not in that time zone, just hit the notification bell if you'd like YouTube to just tell you when that is. Like this video if you like this video. If you know someone who is as interested as we are in this sort of nerdy stuff, then maybe you should share the link with them. And of course, please consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.